I wanted to show you all the different methods and techniques for you to be able to think through what would work best for you, because you have choices here. There's so many choices, actually. There's not just one way. However, when you're working with spores, it has to go through the germination, then to this colonization here where you actually have mycelium. When you're working with agar, liquid cultures or slurries, you're working with mycelium. So here in these agar dishes in my in my SAB, the still air box, this is mycelium. No spores going on here. No spores. When you're working directly with the mycelium and not the spores, you're working with more mature fruits. What a spore will produce is really small, and when we grew from spores right off, it's not what we wanted. We were actually disappointed. I mean, we grew stuff, but not what we wanted. So when we switched over to embracing this idea of agar and liquid culture and mycelium and no more working with spores where we have to go through that germination. Also, the germination process is lengthy. The amount of time it takes a spore to germinate is quite a while. And your grain, your WBS, whatever it is that you're working with a grain jar or a grain bag, can dry out. So you also open the door for some problems with working with spores. It is just a better way to use your time, money, and time and money is energy. And so it really is a better use of your energy, whether it's time and money, by skipping up this process with the spores and going straight to creating mycelium. And we're always looking for this rhizomorphic mycelium that looks like antlers or branches, and it's always on the leading edge of where it's growing, and you can see it here. And so these jars, these birdseed jars, WBS, have been shaken when they were 30% colonized, and the husband is the one who does all of the grain jar shaking, and he says this one is almost finished here, and we're not going to shake it again because it's looking really, really good. So when all of it is grown out white, all this rhizomorphic mycelium has been colonized, then we will move it to substrate, which is the soil, to colonize once again before the fruiting. So when we start at the beginning with spores or liquid mycelium, whether it's the LC, liquid culture, or the slurry that we're creating, or maybe it's not liquid at all, you're using agar transfers, which is fine too. You create the liquid culture and the slurry out of the agar plates. So you could put the agar straight to your birdseed as well, or your grain, whether you're using bags of grain or jars. You can put the agar in there to grow as well as the liquid culture and the slurries. And when we have really beautiful plates and dishes, we use no-pour jars here. We started with Petri dishes and now we use no-pour jars. You use these no-pour jars to make your liquid cultures and your slurries by transferring your clones or your spores that you've grown out. And a lot of times we have beautiful plates, beautiful dishes, no-pour jars, and we have so much left over once we've transferred them that a lot of times I will put this agar straight to the birdseed. So that's what I did. The plates were so beautiful, I didn't want to waste them, so I put them to birdseed. Again, you can grow your spore on these no-pour jar or Petri dishes. You can put spores straight to the agar, and grow them out, and you can put the agar straight into your bird seed, or you can make the liquid culture, the slurries. So again, there's choices.